Yeah, don't summon Skibidi Toilet. This toilet is not going to let you use him. He will eliminate you. And here is how I got into this situation. If you don't want this toilet going after you, make sure to drop a like. And now, let's begin with the story. I played with Skibidi Toilet and it was not a fun experience. I was the imposter, and for some reason my game was completely different. I was about to get eliminated, as you can see, but I was the imposter alongside Lime. My game was completely different, and I eliminated a crewmate since I was the imposter. I tried to escape, but then the body was reported, and that's when I realized that this game was even worse than I thought. The crewmates had different roles, and even one of the crewmates had a yellow username. I asked the crewmates, why is this game glitched? And I was told that it was mods. I spawned back in the meeting room, and a bunch of crewmates were just teleporting. Something was definitely off because I've never seen this before. Since I was the imposter, I had to look for an elimination. I went into laboratory, and I heard someone flush a toilet. That must be a crewmate. I could eliminate him. I walked into the bathroom, and there was no crewmate. So I looked around, and I saw a toilet above the vent. What is this toilet doing here? Can I even access that vent? I did not know that there was a toilet in this section. I thought it was gone. Since there was no crewmate, I left. I need to look for an elimination before the other imposter gets mad at me. But I'm still so confused on why there was a toilet in a spot that shouldn't be there. I was in electrical with a bunch of crewmates and I left because they were all together. So I went all the way to office. I checked vitals and I saw that 2 crewmates were dead. A body was reported, but nobody was ejected. And for some reason, I spawned inside the office room. Why am I spawning in a different location? I should be spawning in the meeting room. There is something wrong with this game, and we need to find out why. I heard the toilet flush again. That's weird. I should probably go back and check. So I made my way over to the laboratory, and I was eliminated right in front of the bathroom. What? How was I eliminated if I was the imposter? That is so strange. Lime then eliminated another crewmate, but I was eliminated even though I was the imposter. How was that possible? It must be that toilet that I saw inside. Speaking of the toilet, it wasn't there anymore. Luckily, Lime was still in the game, so no one was ejected, but I was so confused on how I was eliminated. Now I spawned in a random location. What is wrong with my game? And what is wrong with that toilet? It was actually moving. That is when I went over to the greenhouse, and I saw the toilet over here. This time the toilet had a face, and the toilet's name was Skibidi. What is this Skibidi toilet doing here? And what is it doing in Among Us? A body was reported, and I saw a bunch of different roles on my screen. What is wrong with their usernames? Why is there just a bunch of text? It must be the Skibidi toilet causing all of this. We then lost a game. In the lobby, I checked the chat and there was just a bunch of information. It talked about a system message, which I've never seen in Among Us. It said when I joined the lobby and how many eliminations I had and who was the winner. This must be all because of Skibidi Toilet. I decided to stay to try to find him once again and tried to find an answer on why he's in Among Us. I spawned in the game, but this time I was a doctor, so I was part of the crewmates. I went back into laboratory and I wanted to look at the bathroom to see if I could find Skibidi Toilet and confront him. The lights were off, but I didn't see him inside. I then heard a loud noise behind me. It was Skibidi Toilet. He just appeared, and then a body was reported. Was Skibidi Toilet the one that eliminated that poor crewmate? I spawned back in the game and I was on a different location once again. I then heard the sound of a ship. Is Skibidi Toilet trying to leave? I made my way over to the dropship, and that's when I saw Skibidi Toilet exiting. He must be going to the airship. There's bathrooms there. I spawned on the airship, and I quickly made my way over to the lounge to see if I could find Skibidi Toilet, which was the imposter I saw back on Polis. I checked the lounge, which had the toilets, of course. I opened the first stall and saw nothing. I opened the second stall and there was nothing as well. I opened the third stall and it was empty. I opened the last and final stall and I saw the suspicious looking toilet inside. It was the same one that I saw back on Polis. I made an escape and I had to think of a plan to get rid of Skibidi Toilet. This weird toilet is definitely after me, and he was the one that glitched Among Us and created all of those problems. A body was reported and nobody was ejected, and I spawned in the brig. So far, there hasn't been any teleportation, which I was facing back on Polis. I was in the main hall and I heard the toilet flush again. That's when I knew that I was in trouble. Whenever Skibidi Toilet flushes his toilet, he is sending a sign that he is nearby. I went to the cargo bay and I was with a few crewmates. We both heard the toilet flush. I was with Gray and we walked into the lounge and we saw Yellow teleport. That is when Skibidi Toilet appeared and he looked so horrifying. I did not know that a toilet can actually move, but what is Skibidi Toilet doing in Among Us? Blue then called a meeting, and we were all scared at this toilet. I spawned in the brig, and I was horrified. What am I gonna do up against that horrific toilet? He is so scary. I never thought I'd see the day where I was afraid of a toilet. I went to security to make sure that I was safe. I looked across the entire airship. I checked all the cameras, but I didn't seem to find Skibidi Toilet anywhere. So I stopped looking and I knew I had to look by foot. I went up to the main hall and I was searching in the rooms, but I heard the toilet flush again, and this time it was coming from the gap room. I went to the gap room, and that is when the Skibidi Toilet appeared, but this time he was giant. I've never seen a toilet this big. That is when I knew that the toilet was the one behind everything. He could change sizes. Me and Purple were staring at him, and he was getting closer. He even threw water at me. I then heard the toilet flush, and it was once again coming from the lounge. I quickly made my way over there and I realized that I had a task to do on the toilet, and it was to unplug it. I completed the task, but then I heard a bunch of water. The entire airship was being flooded by water. Where is this water coming from? Is it coming from Skibidi Toilet, which came from the gap room? The water level was rising and it was on my feet. I then heard a noise. It sounded like Skibidi Toilet. Skibidi Toilet then appeared from underneath the water. He was not done with me. Another Skibidi Toilet then appeared from behind me. I was surrounded by both of them. Both Skibidi Toilets then threw water at me. Why are they doing this to me? These Skibidi Toilets are so evil. Both Skibidi Toilets went underwater and were gone.